Are you frustrated trying to keep your loved one from falling? Well, in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the 3 things that I use after 30 years of being a registered nurse and trying it all to keep people from falling in my care home. For the last 10 years, I've cared for people around the clock 7 days a week. So I have lots of experience taking care of people and keeping them from falling. I've had lots of people who love to get up and drive me crazy because I know that they're just 1 second away from a fall all the time. Because as we age, falls are a huge problem. Do you know that they are the #1 cause of accidental death for people over age 65? Don't even get me started on all the problems that a fall can cause. I hear it all the time. People say, oh, well, I just fall. It's no big deal. I'll get back up. But don't ever think that. One fall means that you are likely to fall again. So how can we keep our loved ones safe and keep them from falling so that we don't have to worry about them being in the hospital with a broken hip? I have 3 things that I like to use. And number 3 is probably my favorite gimmick of all. But let's start with number 1. It's the oldest of them, and I used it way back as a young nurse. And it is my just basic, easy to do. It hangs. You can put it on a chair with a little clip on the back, and you simply take the little clip and clip it to their back. You want to clip it where they can't reach. So I usually clip it up on the back, right behind their neck, because as people age, they usually lose the ability to reach behind them. And what happens, you're not going to like, is that when they stand up, you hear that noise, and that means come running because they're moving forward. Because if this is on the back of the chair, as they lean forward, you can shorten this rope so that when they lean forward, it pulls off. Low mess. Easy to do. Don't have to worry about connections to anything else. This is great for someone who only tries to get up when they're sitting in a chair, especially a wheelchair. This works great for them. We used to use it in nursing homes all the time, and then they decided that the noise that they make was a restraint, and that was not a good thing for other people in the care homes. And I understand it is pretty noisy, and if you have lots of people like you do in a nursing home where they're all coming off all at the same time, it can be quite a headache-causing experience. And so you might say, well, why don't you just use a restraint? And you know, in the olden days, when I was a young nurse 30 years ago, we did use restraints, but then people came in and said that that was not good for people, that people had the right to get up and to fall. And so that's where we are today. If you are caring for your loved one in your own home, you can actually still buy restraints. They're available on Amazon. I do caution you to be very careful to apply them correctly. That was one of the things that happened long ago, was that people used them wrong, and then people were ending up injured. So make sure you use it correctly. Make sure you let them up frequently, let them move around so that you don't get bed sores. But the next best thing is one of these. And if you have someone that's in a wheelchair, one of the easiest ways that we used to do it was with just a seat belt. I don't know if you can buy those anymore. I haven't seen them available, but those are a great option if you can get one. They were a very low-tech option also. So number 2 is actually this little infrared. It connects up to a monitor. This one is by Smart Caregiver, and what happens is it sends a beam of light across, and anything that breaks that beam of light will cause it to alarm. And this one actually doesn't make noise in the room. It makes noise only on your main unit, or if you have some type of remote thing. And so I like this because it doesn't scare the person. They don't even know that you have it. You put it down on the floor, and then you just angle it across where their feet are going to end up when they cut up. Now, I will say that the downside to this is if they drop something like their blankets, it can cause it to go off. So that's a little bit of an issue. That's why I have a love-hate relationship with this. For someone who keeps their blankets on their bed, then this can be great. I usually only use this at nighttime for making sure that someone is not getting out of bed, because I set it so that as soon as their feet drop over the edge of the bed, it breaks the beam of light, and then it alarms and lets me know that they are on the move. So that's number 2. Number 3, and also, as a nurse for 30 years caring for hundreds of people, if you want some of my other great tips, make sure you comment tips down below in the comments, and I'll send you my easy caregiving guide. But number 3 is actually a pad. And you can get pads that hook up to an alarm like that first one where it just pulls the string. Or this one is also a remote by Smart Caregiver, and it goes into a pager or into a main box. And this is probably my favorite method of all, because you can put it in the chair and they sit on it, or you can put it in the bed and they lay on it. And as long as you put it in the right spot, then they will not have too many false alarms. So I make sure I put it under their bottom. And if I have someone that I'm really worried about, I might put a second one up underneath their shoulders. But the problem with the shoulder one is that as people are moving around in bed, it can false alarm quite a bit. So that's why I like the one under their bottom. But the problem with the bottom one is they've really moved a lot before this goes off. So, but it's great in a chair and in a recliner. I use it frequently there. They do make a smaller size that is made for chairs. I usually use this in the recliner, even though it's too big, but they do make a smaller one. And so those are what I use the most, those are the 3 things that I use the most often to keep people from getting up. And actually, that's the wrong phrase, isn't it? They actually can still get up all on their own, but at least it alerts me so that I know to come running, so that I can get there usually before they can get all the way up. They also make, and I don't have it, but they make a mat that you can put on the ground below a chair or below the bed. It would only work with a recliner, or a bed, is that once they step on it, it then alarms. I haven't tried it. I have heard good remarks by it, but the people that I have, usually I like these other 3 products better. So that's why I've not invested in one of those mats. If you've had one of those and you liked it, or even if you didn't like it, comment down below and let me know about it, because maybe it's something I should look into in the future. I love to get comments from people and find out what works for you and what doesn't work for you. Being a caregiver is hard work, and we all can share our knowledge of what makes it work better. If you have more questions about caregiving, check out my other videos, and I will see you in one of those.